all those things that they want us to believe are myths or, just stories. Actually, those are histories. That's the proper history that they don't want us to know. Hello and welcome to the Self-Upgrade podcast. In this episode, I'm going to talk to you about something that is surprising. I'm going to take you down the rabbit hole. Back in the summer of 2023, I went to Mayotte basically to visit my dad. And in Mayotte, I have a niece who is a psychic medium. And, whenever I meet her, basically, we talk about different things. And she's spiritual because obviously she sees the spiritual world. And because I'm also spiritual, it's very easy for us basically to engage regarding those topics. So whenever I see her, we talk, and then we talk about her guide because she openly talks about her guide, the type of things that, he tells her and how he helps her, etc. That night, we were three of us. I was with my, my other sister, one of my other sisters, and we were at my niece's bedroom. So we were in her bedroom, just talking about random things. We were just talking, and before I asked her, "So how is your guide?" And I even know the name of her guide. So I was like, "How is your guide?" And she told me, "Oh, he must have known that you were about to ask because he just arrived." I asked her guide so many questions, just asking questions and questions. And I remember even the guide was like, because I was asking like, "Where are you from? Why are you here?" And he was like, I remember the guide said that they are from a planet called Nova. I was like, Nova. Okay, Nova. And I was like, "Can you describe how it is?" He showed it basically to my niece, and my niece tried to describe it as, the best she could. But I don't remember now, to be honest with you, the specific things that he said about the planet. I don't remember that. But anyway, that's not the topic of the podcast. So let's move to the topic of the podcast, which is about the guide from Nibiru. So basically, I had a chat with her guide, and then we started to talk. One of my sisters, like the one who was with me, she's going through tough time in her life. She just, she has lots of challenges basically. And I was like, can we call her guide, to just ask questions on what she can do and things that can help her. And my sister, the one that's, my sister was like, "Oh, I don't care," because she doesn't believe in those things. She's very much into the religion, the programming of the religion. So she was like, "Yeah, call them. So when the guide came, she basically didn't want, because she doesn't believe, so she didn't want to engage with the guide. And I remember the reaction of my niece. She was like, "Ooh," the medium. She was like, "This is weird." And asked her, what is weird? Because when my sister's guide arrived, basically he was hiding his face. He was showing his body, and according to my niece, he looked quite, big, but he was hiding his face. My niece could see from the torso down, and he was apparently wearing an armor, like a warrior. And, but she couldn't see the face. And my niece was like, "Oh, this is scary. I've never seen such a thing." And I asked her what, and she described what she was seeing, that, "Yeah, I'm seeing someone, he looks like a soldier, a warrior, but like a futuristic warrior, but, he's not showing his face, and it's very scary." So I was like, okay. And, my niece, basically, my sister refused to engage with, her own guide. So I took over. I started to ask, the guide, stuff about my sister and different things. And then, because my sister wasn't really into it, I just decided to ask, the same questions I was asking about to my niece's guide. So I was like, "Yeah, where are you from?" And when I said that, he showed to my niece the planet Mars. I mean, a planet that was looking like Mars. And my sister was like, my niece was like, Mars? He's showing me planet Mars. So I was like, planet Mars? You mean another dimension? He said yes. I was like, is it like, do you live in Mars or are you on another planet? He just kept showing the same planet. And I asked it, so many questions. And then I was like, do you mean, are you in Mars? Like, I just wanted to know whether they are like, they live in Mars, but on another dimension that we can see, or it's another planet that looks like Mars. And the answer was like, it's another planet. So I was like, is it planet Nibiru? And when the minute I said that, is it Nibiru? Because, I read a lot about the Anunnakis and, Nibiru being a planet, like, that looks like the red planet or something like that. It looks like Mars and, something like that. So I just asked randomly. I don't even know why. I was like, are you from Nibiru? And the minute I said that, basically it's just as if, someone who was, hiding, but they were hiding, but you just, were like, oh, I already know who you are. So they basically showed their face. He was not hiding his face anymore. Now he was showing his whole body. Like, it was just as if he was saying, yes, you got me. Yes. So he was from planet Nibiru. And I couldn't believe my eyes. And I mean, my eyes, I couldn't see the thing. But, my niece was like, yeah, he said that now he's showing me what the planet looks like. And obviously she was overwhelmed by, what she could see. And she didn't even have the words to, to explain what she was seeing. So yeah, so I didn't insist on the description and all, but I just started to ask it questions. And I remember, like, before I went to to Mayotte, we just moved into our new home, like this home. And when summer came, we had ants, like, and not an invasion, but, there will be ants on the windowsill and stuff like that. And then I went to buy that powder. I went to buy a powder, like to get rid of the ants. And then for some reason, I just couldn't put it. I was like, they may be small, but these are living souls. These are souls. And if I kill them, I'm killing some souls. I'm killing some living beings. So I was like, I hesitated and I just took the thing and I will, when I will see the ants, I will leave the powder that they gave me. I will leave it there, like in the package, and I will talk to the ants, like, please go, because if you don't, I will have to use this. And that seemed to work. They will, after a few minutes, they will all go. Yeah, I will just keep on doing that. Whenever we'll see them, I'll just put the the product there and be like, please go, because otherwise I'm going to use this and it's going to kill you. When my sister's guide from Nibiru came, I was like, yeah, let me ask you this question. I have these ants at home, and I described the situation, and he asked me, do they like are they destructive, like when they come, do they go into food or stuff like that? I was like, not really, they just sort of walk around the windowsill and they go. And they told me, no, in that case, because there are different types of energies. If ants come and they start to destroy things in the house, sometimes it's because they were sent, or there's a some kind of energy, bad energy, that attract them and make them that destructive. But if, for instance, they just are there, those are messengers, because that's what they said, those are messengers. So don't do anything harmful to them, because they are not there to destroy, they are not there to harm you, so don't harm them. I remember them saying that. So I was like, if they are messengers, and at the same time, my sister, the one, whose guide I was talking to, she was having issues with ants as well. But for her, they were they were very, very they will destroy, like, the minute, like, if she cooks some food and she leaves it for an hour or so, they will come and eat the cake or get into the sweet stuff, so they were very, very destructive, the way he said. So when we told her about the ants in my sister, she was like, yeah, and those actually are bringing a bad energy. They were sent by a very, ill intentioned person, and they carry a very bad energy. But for you, those ants carry a message for you. They have a message for you. So it's for you to discover which message they are bringing to you. And I remember as they said that, when my niece finished to explain, I intuitively heard the word teamwork, teamwork. And at the time, basically, with my sister, whose guide I was talking to, basically, I'm building my home in Mayotte. And because I'm not there, she's the one who takes charge of everything. I just call her and tell her what to do. And, and she does basically the things on my behalf. So those ants started to appear a few weeks before before I traveled to Mayotte. So that was the message that they were conveying. When you go there, you need teamwork. You need teamwork. So, when the guide from Nibiru said that, that's when I understood. So yeah, when people talk about Nibiru, we tend to think that, those were people who once were here, but now they are gone, or, they are gone wherever. But he explained that actually, they are just on another dimension. It's another dimension. They exist at this very time. They exist, but they are on another dimension. And I heard quite a lot recently about Planet X. And, people have lots of questions, but the bottom line is, we have those people basically guiding us, some of them guiding us. Can you imagine? Someone from Nibiru, a planet which is on another dimension, is guiding my sister. Like, who would have known? And arguably, if you do your own reading, you're going to find maybe something as surprising as that, or even more surprising. Personally, I think I will cover the what I have learned about my own guide, because it wasn't during the same session. It was, I basically had the connection with my guide, and they explained to me, different things. So I will explain that in another episode. But yeah, I was just surprised, very surprised that, the guide, my sister's guide is from Nibiru. And that made me think quite a lot, because I'm like, oh, my sister, she's she's warrior like. She has that warrior energy, because like I said, she's going, her life hasn't been easy, as a person, to be honest. Her life, she went through lots of challenges. We all do. But for her, I feel like she needed that warrior energy, basically, that warrior guidance. I don't know why her guide is from Nibiru. God knows. But yeah, it's definitely surprising. I did ask them because, obviously Nibiru, Anunnakis, I have lots of questions about Thoth. I was like, is Thoth even real? Was Thoth once living, on Earth? And he was like, of course. And, he explained that it wasn't just on Earth, but he had he could travel, inter dimensions. Basically, he could go within different dimensions, and he did say that within the Emerald Tablets. He said that, his soul was coming out of his body and he was exploring worlds. So that being did say that. He said, yeah, he even was on Nibiru. And when you basically read about, the Anunnaki, stories about Enki and Lil, and even Thoth basically was from Nibiru, according to the story, if I remember well. And he was saying that even them, they have been influenced by, the teachings of Thoth. And I was so surprised when he said that. Yeah, well, because I did ask, at some point I was like, because he did confirm that Thoth was real. He once lived on Earth, and I was like, he taught, lots of things. He left lots of teachings behind him. Are those real? Should we follow those teachings? And he was like, yes, even myself, I live by the teachings of Thoth. I was like, my mind was just blown away. My mind was blown away. I was like, seriously? And my niece, the psychic medium was completely lost. She was just basically the transmitter. She was just, when I say something, I was saying it directly. She was like, you can just say it directly. You don't have to say it to me. But the being was basically using her to transmit, the answers. And she was lost. She was like, what is Nibiru? What is that? Who is Thoth? Are you talking about the Egyptian god? And I was like, yes, I will explain when we finish. So it was quite an experience. I also asked the being, like the guide. I was like, there was that psychic medium, Edgar Casey, and he said that the spaceship of Thoth is hidden under the Great Pyramid, and that one day people will actually discover that. And within the Emerald Tablets as well, Thoth himself says that, there will be basically some kind of threat from space, and the person basically who will manage to get into his spaceship will be able to help, to help us to get rid of that threat, to defeat whoever will be attacking us. And he said, yes, the starship is definitely there, and all of those things are real. It's something to learn, to read about those things, but having someone, especially from Nibiru, it's weird. I know how weird that sounds, and that's exactly how I felt. I felt, it was a feeling between excitement and weirdness. That's how I can describe it. It was weird, but I was amazed, you know. Like I was saying, it's one thing to know or to have read about those things, and it's completely another thing to have someone who is actually confirming all those things because they, like they are from Nibiru. Like, what are the odds? And, this is also something that I wanted to talk about because we talk a lot about the spirit guides as being, the Arcturians, the, Syrians, the Lyrians, I think, or Lyrians, something like that. And, I never heard anyone talking about the Anunnakis or the people from Nibiru as being guides. Yeah, so I'm going to stop the episode there because I just wanted to share that with you, that, all those things that they want us to believe are myths or, just stories. Actually, those are histories. That's the proper history that they don't want us to know. That's history. They are not myths. That's history. But because we don't understand our world and we don't even understand ourselves, it's easy for them to lie to us. It's easy for them to put things into our head because instead of looking for those answers from within, we go outside and ask to chat GPT. We go outside, and obviously, that's the best way to control us because, chat GPT, as you know, is controlled. And I had quite an experience with chat GPT. I'm still thinking whether I should share that or not. So we shall see. We shall see. But, that's what I wanted to talk about today. Nibiru is not something which is, from Zachariah Sitchin's you know, like it's not his imagination. It's something that he read from those tablets, you know, and it exists because the way you know, that being explained, the guide, he explained it as a planet being basically where Mars is right now, but on another dimension. And obviously, it blew my mind because I don't know anything about astronomy, you know. So he was like, yeah, that's why he was showing Mars. Because for me, and for us, if he shows us, like, you know, just a random planet, we're not going to recognize it. But because Mars is within our solar system, we recognize it. So the emplacement, from what I understood, and from the way he explained, the emplacement basically where we currently have Mars, that's exactly where the planet X, also called Nibiru, is, but on another dimension. And with that, I will leave you to think about it. And if this is a topic that you like, please leave a comment. Let me know how it made you feel. Do you know the origin of your guide? Have you even tried to connect with your guide? Have you asked them where they are from? Well, maybe you should. Please leave a comment below, you know, to tell us what you think. And also, have you heard about anyone who has a guide from Nibiru? If you have, please leave a comment and, you know, let's chat about it. All right. Well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the episode. And if you have, please like. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It helps to grow the channel. And we shall see you in the next episode of the Self Upgrade Podcast.